Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Friday the 28th of November 2025. I'm Graham Hughes. Sorry for keeping you waiting there. Bit naughty of me. Sorry, I apologise. It just took a long time to boot up this morning, in more ways than one. So big shout out to our socialites in the chat. We've got Chris C in there. We've got Diz. We've got One Angry Pagan. We've got Billy Kershaw. We've got Pete. We've got Veg Pie. We've got Paula. We've got Billy. We've got it's Chris C. Probably said some of these names before. We've got Saz in there. We have got B3Z Trojan 2012. Hello, everybody. If you would like to join our friends in the chat, what you need to do, well, everyone needs to give us a like to start with. Go on. And then subscribe to the channel. Wait for a minute and you'll be able to join the chat. And if you do subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, because if you do that, then you get to know when we go live, which will be at 1 o'clock this afternoon and at 9:30 this evening if you'd like to join us live. If you're listening to this on pre-record, that's cool as well. This episode is available as a podcast on YouTube Music. So you don't have to look at this stupid mug. You can just listen to my dulcet tones. Well, hello. Hello. So today we're going to be talking about the Cabal. The American Cabal who sold out Europe. Yeah, our friends across the Atlantic. Our friends who have been blackmailing us, extorting us, slapping tariffs on everything we tried to sell them. Just generally being, oh, hello, thank you, cheers. Ooh, I just got handed a coffee. I love you. Anyway, sorry. I love you, you make me coffee. Was that a Pet Shop Boys song? Anyway, so yeah, evil cabal of rich Nepo-Baby Yanks who have been, basically taking their sexual frustrations out on our continent of Europe. How fucking dare they? And here we are, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, and we're stuck in the middle. In Europe, we're stuck between the ridiculous wasteland, the nutritional wasteland of America, and the actual wasteland of Russia. And this is mind-blowing this week that Steve Witkoff, Trump's envoy, a leaked call showed that he advised the Kremlin on how to manipulate the president of the United States of America. So let me get this straight. The US, the American envoy, advised the Kremlin, an executive that is in fundamental opposition to Western values, as we call them, Europe, democracy, freedom, transparency, not murdering people by throwing them out of fucking windows or blowing them up out of the sky in planes. Yeah. And he got on the phone to them and he advised them how to manipulate. He told these people how to manipulate his friend, the President of the United States of America. And when Trump is told this, he's like, yeah, great, cool. I love that. I love that they were told how to manipulate me. I love the fact that they were just told to, tickle my balls. What a time to be alive. Hey, listen, I'm thinking of putting some super chats up for grabs and for 1 hour, right? So if we get 10 super chats, we're going to get the magical, awesome, Christmassy kind of confetti. So let's get that set up, and here we go. Leave it. Hold. Knock. I normally get 5 emails overnight. Black Friday slip means I had over 100 waiting for me this morning. Oh my word, that's from the gist. That's too many emails. No one needs that many. Black prices, where the prices go back to normal prices, they have inflated them up throughout the year. Possibly, yes. Witkoff, property developer. Yes. Yeah. So Witkoff told a guy called Yuri Yushakov that Russia needed Donetsk and maybe a land swap to get Trump on board. He coached Yushakov on timing, suggesting when Putin should phone Trump to catch him before Zelensky arrives in Washington to offset the European leader, the Ukrainian leader, in deference to the barbarians of the northern wastes of Siberia. And he reassured Russia that the US would push Ukraine into to accept territorial surrender. He reassured Russia that. Yep, don't worry, the US will push Ukraine into territorial surrender. They'll just give up a fifth of their territory, maybe 2/5. Maybe half. Who cares? America doesn't. This goes beyond diplomacy. He fed Russia America's internal political weaknesses and Trump's psychological triggers and fed them to him on the phone. Here's what you need to do to manipulate the presidency of the United States of America. Russian state TV confirmed the call's authenticity, and the Kremlin mocked the US by implying the leak came from Washington. Fascinating stuff. Trump defended Witkoff, because of course he did, the fucking shitheel, and framed Kremlin coaching as this is what a deal maker does. Wow. Wow. He openly endorsed Witkoff's behaviour. He bragged that Witkoff was likely to say the same thing to Ukraine, even though the leaked evidence shows that he was definitely not saying this to Ukraine in any way, shape or form. Trump repeated Kremlin talking points about Ukraine showing zero gratitude. Yeah, we had this conversation with the Russians. We told them we were going to give them everything they wanted, but if you think about it, that was really helping. That was helping Ukraine, giving Russia everything they wanted. That's helping. I'm helping. It's like that meme of Ralph from The Simpsons where he's like, I'm helping. And you're like, yes, Ralph. Yes. And Trump prioritized his need for a historic peace deal, photo op over the survival of the country of Ukraine. What a time to be alive. What can I say? Putin exploited the chaos and instantly signaled approval of this deal after it came out about Witkoff's involvement in all this. Putin said the US plan could form the basis of future agreements. He simultaneously threatened to take more territory by force unless Ukraine withdraws. He praised Trump's envoy and welcomed him back to Moscow for another round of ball chortling. He positioned Russia as a calm adult in the room while the US tore itself apart. So, double, triple, quadruple win for the barbarians of the northern wastes of Moscow. J.D. Vance, Richard Grenell and Trump's donor class pushed for Ukraine to accept defeat so they could refocus American power. They view Ukraine as a distraction from China or the border or, I don't know, taking children out of elementary school and putting them in the back of vans, unmarked vans, under threat of being shot in the head with a big fuck-off gun. It's a nice time to be American, I think. And they frame any European security commitment as a burden on America. Oh, this is such a... Well, fuck off then. America, fuck off then. If this is the way you're going to be, fuck off. The only thing we need from America is not security guarantees, is information. But what's the fucking point? Trump's going to fucking sell it to the highest bidder anyway. There's no point in giving them any fucking information. I think America should be kicked out of Five Eyes. I think it should be kicked out of NATO. I think we could do without it. And NATO should work together to bring peace to Ukraine and get rid of the fucking Russians. I would invade. I would invade fucking Russia. I'd fucking bomb the shit out of Moscow. Sorry, I'd just fucking do it. Actually, I wouldn't bomb the shit out of Moscow first. What I'll do is I'll just send in a fucking load of planes, all of Europe's bombers, all of them, one night, tonight. They won't be expecting it. And just bomb the entire front lines of the Russian forces. Just bomb all the front lines tonight. Over the course of do that thing, like in Breaking Bad where he gets all the people killed in jail and he's got his watch and he's looking at his watch and it's takes a minute to take out all, do that. 1 minute, take them all out. That's it. Miss Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Witkoff and Trump view this as a business deal. People's lives are not to be traded. All this does is put off the war, not a peace deal at all. Yeah. But this is they're pushing isolationist narratives funded by billionaires tied to oil, arms, crypto, and social media influence networks. And they're doing a very good job of convincing dickheads that this is the best thing to do. This is the way we get peace. Because there are dickheads on the right and there's dickheads on the left. And both of them are united in their dickheadedness. And both of them think that in all cases, peace is the answer. So if a country invades another country, rapes the children, murders them in front of their parents, kidnaps a bunch of them to be sexually abused back in Russia, you've got to let them do it because peace is more important. It's more important to have peace than to actually stand up against these bullies. That's what they thought with Hitler. When that fucking knobhead Chamberlain came out waving a piece of paper saying, peace in our time, he said, right, peace in our time. Because they gave up Czechoslovakia without the permission of the Czechs or the Slovaks. They weren't asked. They gave up half of fucking Czechoslovakia to the Nazis, to Adolf Hitler, because peace was more important. You had to placate these motherfuckers. And there's people on the left who say this, there's people on the right who say this, and all you're doing is facilitating fascism. That is what you're doing. You are chortling the balls of Hitler when you do this. Oh no, just leave them to it. Just leave them to it. No. If a country in this day and age invades another country's sovereign area, those borders that have been put there, the borders that were there, agreed upon by all parties, if they invade, then it is the moral duty of the world to repel that invader. Whether it is Indonesia in East Timor or whether it is Iraq in Kuwait, doesn't matter. Get rid of the fucking invader. Don't be invading other people's fucking countries. But no, we've got a situation now where Israel invades Palestine. Oh, that's all right. They can raise these cities to the ground, cause $500 billion worth of damage. That's fine. Just leave them to it. Ukraine invades a fifth of, Russia invades a fifth of Ukraine, takes Crimea for itself. No crime here, they say. Oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. And all it does is store up more fucking headaches for the future. That's all you're doing. That's all you're fucking doing. When Belgrade invades Kosovo and starts ethnically fucking cleansing, a term I fucking hate because it sounds like a fucking hair product. Oh, to get some ethnic cleansing on your fucking roots, that's good. It gives you all silky fucking hair. You can look like Tarzan in the 1990s show. Fucking great. But the reality is that ethnic cleansing is genocide. It's the mass murder of a group of people because of who they were when they were born. Not who they are. Not committed any crimes. Not done anything wrong. Just who they were born from, whose vagina they popped out of. That's what matters. And that's what matters to these fucking nutters who go around the world destroying everything that is nice, any kind of decency. Don't forget all these fucking cock badgers who go, I don't like woke. Oh, it's the death of woke. Oh, Florida is where woke comes to die. All right, mate. Do you know what woke means? Decency. That's what it fucking means. Decency. And you may have your own interpretation based on your own life experiences. But to most people, it's just being decent. It's just about not being horrible. About not being a dick. About not being cruel. Not treating people like shit. Not stepping on people on the way up. Because you're going to meet them again on the way back down. That's what being woke is. But you wouldn't know that, would you? Just one sec. I've got to send in a message. Sorry. Okay. So, morning, Scott. Scott's in the chat. Hey, Scott. How you doing? Martin Harrow, Diz. Isn't that what the probationary period is about? I don't know. It's from several MPs and unions. Looks like the Lords are demanding these changes and Labour is caving in. Can you just explain to me what that's about? Sorry, Chris, I missed the early thing. It said, haven't said all the protections being scrapped, just a ban on fire and rehire and zero contracts. The U-turn, which was breaking news on the BBC for some reason. I don't think it's that big a deal, but it is that you don't get all your rights on day one in the job. And to be honest with you, okay, you know, they're like, oh, but this was a policy that they said they were going to do in the manifesto. And I'm like, yeah, but it was a fucking stupid idea. Look, I can only talk about like experiences that I've had where you've hired someone to do a job, like a 1-day job, and you've said, right, I'll pay you 100 quid, just come and fucking mind that camera, you know, make sure it doesn't turn off, you know, or here you go, just record the sound from this gig. That's your job. You need to record the sound for the gig, and then they fuck it up, and then the whole job is fucking worthless. You don't get any money because you haven't got the fucking sound for the gig, or they decided to move the camera around while you were trying to film something, so the footage is unusable, and you're like, yeah, this I'm not going to use you again for this job because you're fucking shit at it. So from that point of view, it does make sense to me. It does make sense to me that you give it 6 months and then you get all your rights. I think that's fair enough. And someone in the chat might put me right here and say, no, Graham, you don't understand, blah, 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 blah. But if you get someone and from day one, they are shit at the job that you have given them and they are costing you money out of their shitness, you should be able to say, I'm sorry, I don't think this is the right job for you. Just saying. Petition to investigate Russian influence stands at 80,288. That is fantastic. In fact, I will go and get the link here. Wow. Yep, 80,325 now. There's the link in the chat. Just about to appear. There you go. Graham Politics there. Petition.parliament.uk/petition. Click on there if you haven't already and add your name to the ever-growing list of people calling for a Russian investigation, something that the leader of the Lib Dems, Ed Davey, called for in Prime Minister's Questions this week. He's not wrong. And of course, Starmer went, I think that, and I'm like, well done. Well done, Starmer. Well done. You played it. You played it really well. You know, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity, right? To basically just take out Nigel Farage and all of the people who fund him. Yeah, in one fell swoop. Do a fucking investigation, Starmer. All right? All right? You've got one job now. And that is destroy refuck. All right, off you go, Roger Irrelevant. It's all good. 80,000 plus so far, says Viper Scott. Hello, Alistair. Yes, it's very, very exciting. Right. Anyway, so, JD Vance, Richard Grenell, Trump's donor class, all pushing for Ukraine to accept this fucking disgusting deal. And this group holds enormous influence over Trump and has no understanding of Europe's architecture, borders, history, infrastructure, everything. They treat Ukraine like a bargaining chip. They treat Russia like a business partner, and Europe is just a fucking afterthought. They tried to push through this 28-point plan, which slanted heavily towards Moscow. It required Ukraine to surrender territory that it still controls. This isn't just about freezing the lines where they are. This is like giving Russia more of Ukraine's land. It limited Ukraine's army to 600,000. What did it limit Russia's army to? There was no limit. Freezing the lines in Russia's favour to bar Ukraine from NATO permanently, leaving it completely unsecured against future attacks by Russia. It granted amnesty to Russian war criminals who raped children and murdered them. It allowed Russia to keep Crimea, Luhansk, and large parts of Kherson and Zaporizhia. European diplomats privately said this. That it said that the syntax of the whole fucking document looked like a Russian drafted document translated into English. It wasn't even written in fucking English. It was written in Russia and then fucking auto-translated using Google. Trump imposed a deadline on Ukraine: accept the plan by Thanksgiving or lose American intelligence and military support. So that was yesterday. As far as we know, they haven't done this yet. But I mean, he used military aid as a leverage to extract a political win, threatened to cut off Ukraine mid-war. And this is mirroring his 2019 extortion attempt, which he was impeached, in which he called up Zelensky and he said, I've got all this military aid that's supposed to come to you, but you can have it if you get some dirt on my rival's son's fucking laptop. I want some dirt on the Bidens. Make something up. You know, doing it. He wanted them to do an investigation because he knew that even if nothing was found, he had learned from the investigation into Hillary Clinton's fucking emails. No matter how banal the investigation was, the fact that there was an investigation would be harm to his opponent because he knows that his opponent is someone who is on the left. And we care about transparency. We care about law and order. We care about people not being corrupt. Him? He can have as many investigations as he likes against him. He can have as many court cases. He can be arrested and photographed. They'll put out the mugshot and his cadre, his cabal, his lunatics who follow him everywhere will be cock-a-hoop. They'll be like, yeah, this is fucking great, this is awesome. More of this, please. Can you believe that? Can you believe that's what's actually fucking happening? Because I fucking can't. Oh, it's one of the things where the left just fucking eat ourselves, innit? The right just let the leaders get away with fucking murder. And the left, you can't get away with eating a fucking sandwich. Literally. Anyway, so, the European capitals received no prior warning about this fucking plan. France, Germany, UK, Poland, and the Baltics learnt about it from the media. They learnt about it from the fucking media. You know, Europeans scrambled to Washington to stop a repeat of the Alaska humiliation. And Zelensky raced between European capitals and Geneva to salvage some kind of unity amongst the coalition of the willing. Whereas the coalition of the willing now for America is willing to chortle fucking Moscow's balls on command like a fucking bunch of dogs. Like, what a good boy, you little fucking dogs. It's pathetic. These people who think they're so fucking patriotic and so like, yeah, USA. Meanwhile, they're just like, oh, you know what? I love that Putin guy. God, I wish he was our leader. God, I wish he'd fucking hold me all through the night and call me fucking daddy. You know, what the fuck is wrong with these people? What the fuck is going through their fucking stupid head? Lead mostly, I think. And what is at stake for Europe if this cabal gets away? I mean, if Ukraine surrenders its territories, Russia, its territory, Russia proves that it can redraw borders by force. Moldova, Georgia, the Kazakhstan, the Baltics, potentially Poland or Finland face immediate risk by this. This isn't just going to be contained to Ukraine. Because there's another thing here that Putin needs to keep the fight going. He needs to fight against someone. The fight against Ukraine is over. He's got to make a new battle. He's got to start fighting a new battle because otherwise he dies. Otherwise he's the one who gets defenestrated straight out the fucking window of a fucking jet at 30,000 feet. That's his destiny if the war ever ends. You've read 1984. You know what the whole, you've got to be at war all the time. It is total war all of the time. That's the way that the Kremlin, the Duma and Putin keep things going in Russia the way they do. They've got to be in a state of perpetual war. So they'll just move on to the next target. They moved from Georgia. They were successful there. They took a third of Georgian land. Then they moved to Ukraine. They took Crimea. They were successful. They moved on to taking this full invasion where they tried to take Kyiv. They were repelled, but they would have taken it. They would have taken it if the Ukrainians were caught napping, which they weren't. They very much weren't. They knew what was coming, despite protestations from the likes of Nigel Farage, who said, oh, no. They're just doing a military exercise on the border. They're not actually going to, attack. They wouldn't do that. Oh, Vladdy, he told me personally. I called him up. He got me on the phone. He said, no, don't worry about it. I definitely won't invade. And that's what he said to me. Oh, I'm tremendously posh and rich. Free bank accounts for multi-billionaires. Gobshite. And this European defense spending has had to rise dramatically. Germany are talking about bringing back some form of the fucking draft, to match Russia's military scale and intentions, and NATO's Article 5, the credibility of Article 5, which is if one member is invaded, the rest of them need to go to their assistance. If that doesn't happen in the event of Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia being invaded, which all members of NATO, or Poland, which is a member of NATO, being invaded in some way by Russia, which is quite likely, by the way. You might think, why would Russia invade Poland? Well, that didn't go down too well for Hitler, did it? Why would they invade Lithuania? Well, have a look at the map. There is a little exclave of Russia called Kaliningrad. It's sandwiched between Lithuania and Russia. And Poland, Lithuania and Poland, right? And the only way to get to it is via Belarus, who's in the pocket of Putin, so that's not a problem. It's an extension of Russia anyway. But if you're going from Belarus to Kaliningrad, you need to go through a little corridor which runs along the borders, the southern border of Lithuania and the northeastern border of Poland, right? They'll take it. They will take that corridor by force so they can get to and from Kaliningrad, which is a massive military base. The whole place is a fucking military base. There's places in Kaliningrad where if you are hanging around outside the supermarket, looking to where the next bus is to the border, you will be arrested by the Russian security forces and frog marched out the country. I know this because that's what happened to me. I'm sick and tired of these people who have done nothing, who have experienced nothing, trying to tell me how the world works. And I'm like, I have first-hand experience of this shit, okay? I've been to Ukraine. I've been to Kaliningrad. I've been to the Democratic Republic of Congo. I've seen these places. I've bothered to get off me fat arse and actually see these places for myself. And I do think that gives me the edge somewhat on someone who just gets all of their information from Rupert fucking Murdoch or Lord fucking Rothermere or the Barclay brother or fucking Richard fucking barely legal Desmond or the Tory party or the fuckers, Aaron Banks and Richard Tice and Andy Wigmore and Farage, all these little creepy little arseholes creeping around outside the Russian embassy going, what can we do for you, Vlad? Give me some more money, Vlad. Fuck me. So yeah, that you can see all this happening. There's an area of Moldova called Transnistria. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I don't give a fuck, right? It's to the right of the country. It's like this little worm down the right border of the country. It borders Ukraine on one side, and on the other side, it's Moldova, right? And it's a breakaway part of Moldova. It's this little slither of land along a river. And they claim that they are the fucking Socialist Republic of Transnistria. They've still got a hammer and sickle on their fucking flag. And they're told what to do by Moscow, and they fucking love it. They love chortling Moscow's balls. Just like America, this little shitty fucking place that no one knows, no one's heard of. But do you think that Putin might want to, consolidate his gains? He's going to take Kherson. He's going to take Kherson City as well. The Kherson's a region and also the city, a bit like Durham here, Durham, Kherson. A little bit along the coast is the port of Odessa. Right? Not to be confused with the Odessa Files. That was a slightly different Odessa. That stood for something. This is a place called Odessa. And in Odessa, they have a warm water port, which is, ice-free all through the year. Don't forget, big part of this is all so Russia can have ice-free ports all year round. One of the reasons why Russia is accelerating climate change so much is, one, it doesn't give a fuck because it's not going to be their land that's going to be fucked up by it. If anything, it's going to make Russia a little bit warmer. So it means there's going to be less ice on the ground. The soil the quality is still going to be absolutely fucking awful because it's Russia and it's a fucking wasteland. But having no winter anymore in certain areas of the North Sea, etc., it means that, or the north of the White Sea, north of Russia, means that they will be able to move their ships around all year round. And that's why it was so important to Russia not to lose Sebastopol, the military base, the naval base in Crimea. That was so important to them. And that's why they invaded back in 2014. It wasn't because of some grand tradition or history or the fact that, Ukraine was always part of Russia. None of that ideology came into it at all. Not that didn't matter to Putin back in 2014, when they invaded Crimea. What mattered to them was that they had a lease on Sebastopol, which was negotiated with the Ukrainian government. Up to that point, the Ukrainian government had mostly been, it hadn't always been. They'd had was it the Velvet Revolution first, and then they had the Orange Revolution. They had a couple of revolutions. But basically, the installed puppet leader of Ukraine, who was mates with Putin, was kicked out and replaced with a leader, not Zelensky, but another leader who was someone who was democratically put into place to lead the country, who the people wanted, but notably had their face turned towards Europe, towards the EU, towards NATO. And they said to Russia, we're going to have a look at this deal of you operating this base, Sebastopol, just like Britain operates 2 bases in Cyprus, like America operates Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. There's all deals involved, or there's a treaty that was signed by such and such a person 100 years ago, whatever. And these countries have these little parts of other countries that are kind of theirs, right? That they can use at will. The idea of Sebastopol being taken from them freaked them the fuck out, because it would mean that for 6 months of the year or whatever, they would have limited access to warm water ports, right? But then there's another problem with the Black Sea, right? So you've got this port there, and they've got shipbuilding and stuff like that. You can build a ship. The thing is, to get in and out of the Black Sea towards the Mediterranean, you've got to go through the Dardanelles and the Bosphorus, right? In order to go through there, you need to get permission, essentially, off Turkey, which is there's a thing called the Treaty of Montreal, I think, and it is this treaty that says that warships aren't allowed to go through there, that shipping channel. It's free for anyone to use, but it has to be for peace, it has to be for trade, it has to be whatever. So it's kind of like quasi-international waters. It's one of the reasons why Turkey's actually building a canal in parallel with the Dardanelles, so they don't have to, does it cut out the Bosphorus? It cuts out a particular strait, so the Treaty of Montreal will be null and void for any ships going through that particular canal. And importantly for the Turks, they could charge money for boats going through this canal. And as they've seen from Egypt and Panama, having a canal that lots of ships need to use is very, very profitable, right? Okay, so that's an issue for the Russians, so they can build these warships, but they can't necessarily take them out of the Black Sea. They have to stay in the Black Sea. They can't necessarily take them out and take them into the Mediterranean, then the Atlantic, and then out to the wider world. They're kind of trapped a little bit, right? Without some special dispensations, etc., etc. It's one of the reasons why there's no American fucking aircraft carrier in the Black Sea. You'll think, well, why isn't there one in the Black Sea? That doesn't make any sense, right? And also the fact that, Ukraine's been blowing up these ships. So it makes sense that Russia would want to accelerate climate change so that the ice caps melt and allow them to have access to warm water ports all through the year, because they don't want to have to go through the Dardanelles. How evil is that? Pretty fucking evil, mate. Pretty fucking evil. And One Angry Pagan says, Putin needs to be put in a box, and I'm no pacifist. Yes, One Angry Pagan, thank you for the first super chat of the morning. That's very kind of you. Oh, that's not the first, is it? Is that the first? No, because we had Miss Paula Thomas was the first. Thank you, Miss Paula Thomas. One Angry Pagan was the second. Wheels of Darren, number 3, but with a whopping £10 super chat. What would you know, Graham? Anyone will think you've travelled to every country in the world. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it, mate. I'm just, honestly, at a party that I was at, an older gentleman said to me, you may have a degree in politics and you may have been to every country in the world, but what you don't understand is, we're having an argument about Brexit. What you don't understand is, and he quoted something from the Daily Mail, and I was just like, and I guess that was the point where I realised we're fucked. We're fucked until this older generation is no longer deciding our fate. I think we're up shit creek, you know. I really do. It's going to take a while. Let's just hang in there. Let's all hang in there together for a brighter day tomorrow. Or maybe next year. Martin Harrow, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Last one of the week for Dizz's YouTube budget now spent. Oh, thank you, Martin. That's very kind of you to chip in for Dizz's confetti. So yes, what's at stake? So if Russia gets its way, Russia proves it can redraw borders by force. Also, the Russia-US bilateral deal sidelines Europe completely. Trump and Putin become the arbiters of European borders. Ukraine becomes a buffer state with no guaranteed security. Europe loses control of its own neighborhood, its own security, and its own energy stability. You know, Putin gains strategic depth and momentum, like their economy will be saved by this. Russia consolidates the land bridge from Rostov to Crimea. Russia's forces reposition closer to NATO states, great. And the Kremlin wins a major propaganda victory. You know, the West abandons Ukraine, ha 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 ha, as they laugh into the I don't know, the potato that they get given once a year. This invites more war, not less. The message to autocrats worldwide: force works, diplomacy is optional. China takes notes regarding Taiwan. Iran, Azerbaijan, Serbia, far-right parties in Europe gain ground. This is fucked. This is just really fucked. Every country in the world that is poised to try and take a little bit of their neighbor, take a bite out of their neighbor, from Eritrea to Venezuela. What's putting them off now? What's putting them off? Yeah. Hang on a sec. I have another message to send. Oh, I will come to the super chat in a moment. Sorry about this. Okay, so servers there towards the let's get confetti for Diz campaign. Thank you very much to server there. That is very, very kind of you. Awesome. We're halfway there, as someone maybe once sang. No one I like though. Oh, and the petition has gone up. The petition while we've been online. The petition's gone up to 80,655 signatures, so that's great. Miss Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. If ice-free northern ports is Putin's plan, it won't work because one of the effects of climate change is the Gulf Stream shuts down equals more ice. Yeah, I mean, well, no, yeah. Okay, so if the polar ice caps melt, in the summer, that kind of helps them, doesn't it? It might eke out some more areas, but you're right. I guess in Europe. Definitely, because if the AMOC, the circulating currents that keeps Europe warm, goes out of action, well, that's Kaliningrad fucked, isn't it? And don't forget, you know, we are living here, 50 degrees, 70, 51, 52, 50, 55 degrees. Where are we up in Durham? Is it 55 degrees latitude here? Same latitude as Lake Baikal. Lake fucking Baikal! In Siberia. Durham latitude. This is going to come up with like a 54.7. Oh, come on. That's good. That's good off the top of my head. Just working it out by thinking of a map in my head. That's about 55. No, Graham, it's 54.7. Same latitude as Lake Baikal. I'm going to fucking freeze. Without that warm water coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, we're fucked. We're so fucked. The Atlantic conveyor, indeed. Yeah, Miss Paula Thomas. Yeah, you're right about Europe. It will get colder. So yeah, I mean, but I don't think Russia's got the smartest people in charge. But yeah, maybe on the Pacific side, maybe that'll help them out. I don't know. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so yeah, this invites more war. This invites more pain, more suffering, more people dying, agonizing deaths, people dying screaming. You know, this means more children being ripped apart by bombs and hand grenades and weapons like AR-15s. What can Europe do to stop this? Okay, well, first of all, right, Europe can fucking seize or repurpose the 140 million euros in frozen Russian central bank assets. Belgium holds the most of these assets. The EU's proposed repatriations loan uses these assets as collateral. This instantly transforms Ukraine's finances and war fighting capacity if we do this. And Russia's economy would suffer a long-term blow. Moscow would lose a major financial cushion. And this plan requires political courage. But it breaks dependence on US funding. Europe can provide predictable long-term military support without having to wait for Washington. France, Germany, UK, Nordics, Baltics already supply significant aid to Ukraine. We can ramp it up. You know, Europe can commit to multi-year ammunition contracts and production, closing the artillery gap that would deny Russia battlefield breakthroughs. Europe can declare clear red lines to Trump before any Trump-Putin summit, which might take place today, by the way. No territorial concessions, no forced demilitarization, no amnesty for war crimes. Ukraine's long-term security must be guaranteed by Europe if the US steps back, and we should step up and do that. Europe is insanely rich. We keep looking at individual countries in Europe, and you know these twats who are like the little fuck faces who go, oh, yeah, the economy of Germany's not doing so well. Still richer than us. Still got better worker protections than us. Still got better protections against the rise of the fash than we do in this country. But here's the thing, right? For every European country that's not doing so well at the moment, if you look at it like this, there's a few countries that are doing, there's an equal number of countries that are doing really fucking well. Like Ireland, like Spain. Spain's doing fucking great at the moment, going great guns. If you look at Europe as a whole, that's countries that are in the EU, countries that are not in the EU, like Switzerland and Iceland and the UK. Put it all together, you got a fucking you got some fucking wealth. You have got a massive GDP, which is you know, and you've got a population of what 560 million, is it? What was the population of Europe these days? Actually, if you include Russia, it'll be more than that. But population of Europe, excluding Russia because it's not part of Europe. The population of Europe, excluding Russia, is approximately 650 million. Did I get the numbers the wrong way? I said 560. It's 650. Just got the 6 and the 5 the wrong way. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, it's about 650 million people not living in Russia. I suppose you'd have to take some off for Belarus and Serbia because they're so far up Russia's arse they can see the future. But you know that's a good number of people. We're a rich place. We've got lots and lots of riches, most of it stolen from other parts of the world. But, you know, let's not go there this morning. Europe can prepare boots on the ground contingencies for enforcing a peace settlement. Even the threat of that will put the willies up Russia, and not in the way that they would enjoy. You know, the analysis say that France, Germany, the UK need to deploy stabilization forces if a ceasefire forms. This prevents Russia from rearming under cover of fake peace. Which is what they plan to do. Absolutely what they plan to do. Obeying the legends! Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Sorry for touching the mic there. Spain lets asylum seekers work from day one and offer some training in the areas of the economy where they don't have enough people. Simple as that. Yep. Honestly, if we opened our doors tomorrow to like loads and loads of immigrants, we'll make loads and loads of money. But there you go. Reagan Elite is live at 11 o'clock. Here's the link. So we've got the link there from Viper Scott. Ooh, do you know what I could do? Do you know what I'm not going on till 11 today. Yeah, sorry. If I could do a continuation to Reagan Elite stream, I would do that, but I can't. I'm sorry, because I'm stopping at probably 10:30. I saw earlier that Macron is reinitializing national service. Yeah, and they're thinking of doing that in Germany as well. They're talking about it. Oh no, the Chibs. Oh, I'm so sorry, the Chibs. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Bad day today, saying goodbye to my dog Gizmo. Oh, sorry, mate. That fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sure Gizmo was a good dog. All dogs are good dogs. Except the nasty ones. But yeah, we won't talk about that. Sorry. Don't know what to say about that. That's really upsetting. Bit shit. Bit shit. But at least you had the time. At least you had the time that you had together. And no one can take that away from you. Okay, back on to what Europe can do. So Europe can expose Witkoff's treachery and make it clear that this envoy cannot represent the West's interests, cannot represent the US interests, never mind the rest of the Western fucking hemisphere. And Western. I struggle with the term Western civilization just because of the great quote by Mohandas Gandhi when he came to this country, and someone asked him what he thought of Western civilization, and he said he thought it would be a good idea. Let's just say Western democracies, maybe. I don't know. But yes, the Western democracies should not be being represented. Let's say NATO. Okay, that makes it easy, doesn't it? NATO's interests should not be represented by Steve Witkoff. Was he a real estate agent or something in a former life before Trump took him on as this? Just what? So yeah, the Republicans in the US and Democrats, I should say Democrats and Republicans are already calling Witkoff a traitor. And Europe can refuse to negotiate with any envoy who's been compromised by Kremlin influence. Trying to get the Kremlin to know how to manipulate Trump. And this would protect Ukraine from future backroom sabotage. Well, help protect, I should say. Just like jumping up and down helps flatten the earth. But yeah, Europe can remind Trump publicly that Europe pays more for Ukraine's defense than the US does. And this flips his whole Europe freeloads off America narrative, and it pressures him to try and justify abandoning Europe to Russia. But we need to talk about the end game. What happens if Europe fails? This is the time when Europe really needs to step up to the mark, and it just shows how well prepared for the future Russia was by setting these things in motion, like Trump's election, the Brexit referendum, which they knew they would win through subterfuge and lying and cheating and being frauds. They were playing this game, and they knew that they would get to this point. I don't think that they would have invaded Ukraine in 2022 had they not known that Trump was going to get away with everything in America, and if they didn't think that that he will be president again. I think they had that in the bag. They absolutely had that in the bag from 2022. They were like, well, what if it goes wrong? What if we can't capture Kyiv? Well, we just wait till Trump is leader again, and then he'll cave and do everything we want. He will chortle my balls, said Vladimir Putin in Russia. What's Russian for chortling someone's balls? So, the end game, right? This peace plan on Putin's terms guarantees future war, maybe even involving the EU states, which include Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Russia. Could include Moldova in a couple of years' time. If Ukraine falls or capitulates, Russia sits on the border of these NATO states, and the Balkans, like the Balkans, they become indefensible without a big change in the way that Europe defends itself. A European army would be a good idea, something that Nigel Farage had a big problem with. Why would you have a problem with having an army that you're a member of? Unless a European army would have been a problem for Putin. And allowing this to happen effectively makes Poland the new front line for Russian territorial expansion. Russia's already the biggest country in the world but it's not big enough. This is the soil shit. Trump and Putin get to define Europe's map. The map of our continent is being defined by a butcher and a fucking disgusting sex criminal. A man who cavorted with America's most notorious paedophile. A man who I have no doubt has abused children. A fucking pedo. A pedo in chief. So we've got a paedophile and a butcher. And they are ganging up to redefine Europe, our continent's borders. Fuck you, Yanks. Fuck you, Russians. The US becomes this fucking transactional, because he's this transactional president. Trump will remake America in his own image, a transactional paedophile. NATO will fracture as a result of this. I guarantee it, because the US are not interested in what the things that NATO was set up for, which was to stop Moscow expansionism. That's why it was started, because the lunatic scumbag psychos in Moscow who ran the fucking Soviet Union under fucking Stalin were fucking insane. And they did horrific things, like take the entire cabinet of a country to the edge of a fucking quarry and then shot each one of them in the fucking back of their fucking head and then kicked them into the quarry. That happened in the 1930s in Central Asia. That fucking happened. And I'm sure one of them turned around and went, "Why are you doing this to us?" And the Russian about to shoot them said, "Because you let us." NATO was set up as a bulwark against that, to stop Muscovite expansionism, Muscovite imperialism. That's why it was set up in the first place. And this completely undermines it. Because this gives this gives Russia, this gives Moscow, Putin, the Kremlin, the Duma, it gives them everything they want. Everything. And this means that Europe loses control of its own destiny. European security policy becomes hostage to US domestic politics, whatever dickheads the dickheads over there decide to be their dickhead fucking president next time round. And that affects us. That affects our continent. That affects the borders of our continent. Where our continent ends, I think it should be the border of Ukraine and Russia. Russia can fuck off. It's not part of Europe. It was only invented as being part of Europe as a result of Peter the Great's grand embassy around Europe in the early 1700s, when he ran around Europe causing fucking bedlam and chaos. He was a fucking psychopath. This is the guy who, don't forget, when he got back and he found out the Russian parliament had rebelled against him in his absence, he had them all fucking imprisoned under one of his fucking palaces. And he'll get up each morning, take one of them out and kill them in a different way each day. That's what he'll do for breakfast. He'll just go down and murder someone. Every day started with a murder for years of these members of the Duma who rebelled against him while he was away. He's famous for cutting out the heart of his wife's lover, right? His wife's paramour. He cut out the heart and he put it in a jar and put it on the mantelpiece in the bedroom, so she could see her lover's heart on the mantelpiece. Has Russia's leaders improved in their psychopathy over the years? I think not. Almost every single one of them has been a fucking insane bastard filled with bloodlust, with the possible exception of Catherine the Great, who was not a bastard because she was a woman. Catherine the Great. The rumours went out after Catherine died that she was killed by a horse that she was trying to have sex with. That wasn't true, by the way. That was made up. Just like poor old Marie Antoinette never said, "Let them eat cake." It was just made up after the fact to justify not liking them, making them seem bad people in history. But there you go. It was a bit like Elizabeth I. Apparently her face had all these smallpox scars all over it, and she probably didn't. But then again, I mean, people said that bit Richard III had a humpback, and everyone thought that was just made up to make him sound worse than he really was. But no, he did. They found his skeleton, and he had like scoliosis or something. Anyway, so yeah, we've got the fact that Putin and Trump being able to define the map of Europe is just horrific, and Ukraine becoming a frozen conflict that Russia has the opportunity to unfreeze. Not Ukraine, but Russia has the opportunity to unfreeze whenever it wants. Whenever Zelensky is not the leader anymore and they have a leader who's more compliant to Russian needs, to Russian desires, to Russian peccadillos. And they're demanding, as part of this agreement, is they have to have elections within 6 months so they can rig those elections, which they're very good at rigging elections. I've got to say, the Russians are masters at rigging elections, rigging referendums, as they did in this country. Something no one wants to talk about. By the way, that link is back in the chat now if you want to just sign that petition. Sign the petition. But millions of refugees will not be able to return to Ukraine because their homes have been destroyed. If they live in Mariupol, they're not going to be able to go back because it's under Russian control now. And reconstruction becomes impossible because there's going to be no money and there's going to be no reparations coming from Russia, no real reparations. And Russia builds new military bases on the conquered territory. Takes them over forever. Great. Cool. Zelensky. Sorry, did I say Zelensky? I don't know. Zelensky. Yeah, sorry, one angry pagan. But one angry pagan, you write stuff all the time that I can't pronounce in a different language that I don't speak. So I give up. I'll just say things as I want to say them. And if it annoys you, sorry. But yeah, so really grim situation to be in at the moment. But on the bright side, there's new episodes of Stranger Things are out. And Pluribus is really good. And apparently there's a really good show on HBO called The Chair Company, which I'm going to check out. I'll let you know. I am going to head over now to the papers. Boom. There we go. The Mirror here. Dando's cop Serbian hitman probe. Apparently this guy's wearing the same tie. And I don't know, like, it looks like a different tie to me. That tie looks like it's got stripes on. Sorry, I need to get the pointer up here. This looks like it's got stripes on here, and this looks like it's got flowers on. I don't know if that's the same tie. Okay. And then we've got the Times over here. Day one protection of workers abandoned. Let's kind of discuss that a little bit. And there's a picture of the woman from the family. The woman, not the oldest woman, but not the youngest woman, the middle woman from the family. She's the middle woman, yay. And she held some flowers. So that's nice, isn't it? Isn't that nice? That's cool. She held some flowers. It's quite a shy little wave, that, isn't it? It's like, hi. But yeah, very important that we need to know that woman held flowers. Although she is bringing attention to child's mental health, which is a good thing. So well done, Catherine. Self-taxes mean dismal living standards, say economists. Putin dashes peace hopes with call for Kyiv retreat. President Putin has said he will keep up the war in Ukraine if Kyiv refuses to retreat from its own territory, casting doubt on likely success of the peace talks to stop the 3-year conflict. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. We've got the Daily Fail here. What today's residents of TV's Benefit Street say about Reeves's welfare bonanza. And they have a woman there holding a cup of tea, I guess, with a cigarette, of course, because, anyway, the brain drain from Starmer's socialist chaos. There's a commentator called Alistair Heath. Subscribe. Sorry, that came up automatically. Hit the bell notification icon. Alistair Heath. He called this like a socialist budget. He went, "Our last socialism has won." Socialism. This is the same guy who welcomed the Truss mini budget and was like, "This is the best budget ever. This is the best budget since forever." Breaking news: Putin has to insists Ukraine has to surrender territory for a deal to be possible. Yeah, I don't even know if that's breaking news. I mean, that's here. That's in the Times. But yeah, it's a bit of grim, makes for grim reading. The brain drain from Starmer's socialist chaos. Britain is facing a brain drain that threatens to add the pain of Rachel Reeves' disastrous budget. Why was it disastrous? The markets weren't spooked. It wasn't a disaster. Official figures yesterday revealed an exodus of young Britons, while asylum seekers now make up nearly half of net migration. What? Oh, but no, it doesn't work like that. Oh, Jesus Christ. So they get migration down. And because the number of asylum seekers is about the same as it was last year and the year before, they're like, but you're now half of. This is why you can never make them happy. This is why you can never make these motherfuckers happy. Immigration is down to its lowest level in fucking years. It's down to 200,000. Net migration down to 200,000. So low. I mean, a few years ago it was like 800,000. It's gone down. 4 days confetti time. Yes, we need 2 more. Oh, we've only got 3 minutes left. Okay, we've got 3 minutes left. We need 3 more super chats in the next 3 minutes. And then we will get confetti. Otherwise, we won't get confetti. And Diz will be very upset. Very, 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 very upset. So, I'm a celeb. Get me big telly deal. This is about Jack Osborne. And also, there's a picture there of the Osborne kids, I guess. Oh, that's not the kids, is it? It's Sharon Osbourne and her daughter. We've got Daily Express here. Your delay is stealing precious time and choice. Terminally ill. Criticise Lord's amendments that could derail assisted dying law. Yeah, criticise Lord's amendments. There's 1,000 of them. The Lords are trying to derail this bill that would allow people to die when they want to die instead of spending years in fucking pain and misery. Ministers ditch manifesto pledge for job protection on day one. Fine. You know what? I don't think anyone's too bothered about that. Are you? Let me know in the chat. Viper Scott, 1 more super chat. Thank you very much. £2 super chat there. We need 2 more super chats. Oh no, 1 more. 1 more super chat. We just need the 1 more super chat in the next 2 minutes. If someone wants to put one in, we will get confetti. And that will be dead exciting. There's a picture of the woman on the front of the Express there because she needs to be on the front cover every day. And over here, we've got Reeves, tax rises may be fiscal fiction. Reeves was told yesterday that our plans for tax rises and spending restraint in the run-up to the next general election resembled the work of fiscal fiction. Okay? And then there's a horrible story about the death toll rising in the Hong Kong inferno, these 7 buildings burning in Hong Kong, which I want to circle back to that as a story in a little bit. There we go. Viper Scott has done it. Thank you so much. And Wheels of Darren, thank you so much to both of you for the confetti. We have done it. We have got confetti. Oh my God, there's more. There's more. Chris, Viper, Wheels, and Saz. This is for you all. You are all amazing and awesome and beautiful. Thank you. And now we have confetti! Woo! Confetti! Woo! Okay, I'll stop that now. Oh, I'm a bit dizzy. Whoa, you shouldn't do that this early in the morning. I'm too old to spin round. You know, when you're a kid, you could spin round for ages and you were great. And you get a bit older and you're like, oh, God, I'm dying. Anyway, getting old's no fun. Starmer rips up Raiders' right bill. No. They haven't ripped it up. There's still a lot of stuff that's still in there. It's just, oh, confetti again. Sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen. Do it again, Graham. No, that wasn't. That's not true. Okay, they haven't ripped up the whole of Rayner's workers' rights bill. That's what they're talking about. It's just one part of it, one part of the rights bill that says that you get all your protections from day one, which I didn't agree with when it was in the manifesto, and it's not there anymore. So yeah. And Nick says, although increasing wages won't be sustainable as AI and robotics kick in over the coming years. I don't know, Nick. You know, have you seen the footage of the Russian robot? Jesus. I don't think they're going to be folding laundry anytime soon. Kate's on a mission there. She's on the front cover for some reason. Benefit Street budget is a way back for the Tories. Carragher slot has 1 week to save his job. God, Liverpool are doing so bad. They lost another match this week. And I will put it to you, fans of round ball, that there hasn't been a week in league history in which, after 12 games played, Everton, Liverpool, and Man United are on exactly the same number of points. I don't reckon it's ever happened before. You could prove me wrong. Maybe it happened once in 1913 or something, but I don't think it's ever happened after 12 games. Anyway, Labour U-turn on workers' rights as PM denies budget, tax rises break promise. And Samuel Mushy there, I had no pulse, my heart has stopped. Jesus Christ. After the brutal attack on him. And then we've got electric car drivers face yearly mileage checks. Yeah, because how else are you going to do the tax? I mean, again, it's going to be about 300 quid for most people. You only do about 10,000 miles a year. Depending on, like, if you're a long distance driver, a rep. Is it reps who drive a long way? Then fair enough, you probably put on a lot. But like for most of us, for a year of a car, it's about 10,000 miles. That translates to 300 quid. It's fuck all. I mean, seriously. What was it? £1 a day? If that. It's fuck all. Less than £1 a day. 86 pence a day. I don't know. I just made that up off the top of my head. Let's find out exactly how much. Why is my calculator taking ages to appear? Well, there you go. I don't know why that took so long. I fucking hate Microsoft. You suck so much, Microsoft. So 300 divided by 365. Okay. 82 pence. Sorry, I said 86. A good guess. 4 pence off. 82 pence a day. I don't care. That's fine. I'll spend that on the Freddo. There was a TV channel called TV series called Benefit Street, which started just after the 2010 general election and turned the public against welfare claimants, making it easier for austerity. Yeah, absolutely disgraceful. There's two big things that Channel 4 have done in the past that I think are absolutely reprehensible. Absolutely reprehensible. One of them was the great climate scandal or something, which allowed some climate fucking conspiracy nut, like Penis Corbyn, one of those fucking lunatics, to essentially say that the climate change was nonsense. It wasn't really happening. It wasn't really a thing. And obviously it was called the Great Climate Swindle or something. That was disgraceful. And Benefit Street, beyond disgraceful of Channel 4 to do that. Like, why don't you just fucking shut the balls to the fucking Tory government and give people an excuse to hate people on benefits and say, here's the worst of them. Here's the worst of them. We should do more shows about the fucking aristocracy and how they fuck us. We should have shows about these elite private schools and the shit gibbons that come out of them and fuck everything for everyone. We should do more shows about that. Call it Cunt Street. Channel 4 also did one of their high hit job pieces on trans people too, if I remember correctly. Did they? Fucking hell. What is that? Is that in the name of balance or something? Balance. Funnily enough, it was at the same time Can't Pay, Will Take It Away started. Yeah, a show about bailiffs, wasn't it? Was that bailiffs? Yeah. There's a show, there's Border Patrol or whatever it's called, that Australian show. Isn't there, where it's like it's border force or something? It's people on the checking people coming into the country, checking if they've got any carrots in the luggage. A bananas show, absolutely bananas. There'll be some little Chinese woman and they're freaking her out and saying, "Have you got any food in your luggage?" She's like, "No, I haven't got any food." And like, "Have you got any food? You got any food?" And they open up her luggage and it's full of cabbages. And you're just like, what the fuck? It's bizarre show, but it's there to make you think that, the border people, they're the goodies. It really, if you think about it, I think they come across as fucking horrible, to be honest with you. Just ruin people's days. Let the nice Chinese woman have her cabbages. So yeah, pet cats came to the UK with the Romans. There you go, little cat there with a little Roman brush on top of their head for some reason, looking like Marvin the Martian. MP hails big migrant migration fall. Sorry, Only 204,000 more people are living in the UK, but asylum arrivals are rising, and official data shows fewer coming here to study and work. Yeah, we need migrants. So stop saying we don't need migrants. They complain when the migrant numbers go down. They complain when they go them up. They'll never be happy. Never be happy. Never try and placate a Grinch. And then we've got down here, we've got the Independent, IFS. Reeves broke the manifesto promise, and the PM says, no, she didn't. That's the Institute for Financial Studies or Fiscal Studies, is it? I don't know. Is it a think tank? Is it, what is it? Is it the IFS? The IFS, Institute for Fiscal Studies, non-profit company, in Bloomsbury. It's an economic research institute specialized in UK taxation and public policy. So it was founded in response to the passing of the Finance Act 1965. So there you go. Cool, I guess. And then we're going to go over to the Financial Times. If I don't click on the wrong fucking thing, which I just did. Just give me a moment to get rid of the advert. You don't want adverts, do you? No one wants adverts. Right, here we go. Labour dilutes flagship workers' rights bill following pressure from business. Day one dismissal protection acts. Employers hail compromise. Yeah, it is a compromise. You get 6 months. You get 6 months and then you can be sacked. I honestly, you can't be sacked. Sorry, 6 months and then you can't be sacked. Okay, cool. You've been doing a decent job for 6 months. And that's fair enough. We've got the beefing there. The stock exchange boss hails a higher pay for execs. Jury shake-up reigned in. Proposals from Justice Secretary David Lammy to end the right to jury trial in England and Wales are set to be scaled back after judges and barristers expressed outrage over the reforms. China tech goes offshore. Top companies have started training their AI models overseas to gain access to NVIDIA's chips and bypass Washington's efforts to prevent the development of the powerful technology. SEC is investigating Jeffries. The US regulator is probing the bank over its links to collapsed car parts group First Brands. The Hong Kong blaze toll rises, and it's past 80. Honestly, it's past 130, I think, now. I'll just check the latest. It's horrific. But I think it's going to be over 300. It's 128 now. I think it's going to hit fucking 300 by the end of this because there's still loads of people missing, and this is really fucking grim. Listen, let me just finish off the papers, and we'll get back to talking about Hong Kong. Reeves rushes 2029 pensions tax rate into law to reassure skeptical markets. Rachel Reeves is to rush through laws to enact her budget to reassure nervous markets that key tax increases will definitely not be implemented, even if they do not kick in for several years. Okay, so and then children of the revolution push for reform in Tehran. Hey, things are happening in Tehran. It's worth keeping an eye on this. There's people partying in the streets. They're having gigs and like mini festivals and stuff. And women are just taking off their headdresses and just showing their hair. Having gone to a house party in Tehran, and with when women turned up, the first thing they did when they got in was take off their headdresses. That happened in Tehran. The young people aren't having any of it. They just, this idea that you've all got to be all this, everyone's got to live like a fucking nun or a monk. People don't want it. People just don't want it. Free the two Davies, says one angry pagan. Oh, that's something we need to talk about, though, isn't it? One angry pagan. So the two Davies got arrested. This is Indie Truck Davy and the other guy, which I think is disgraceful. I don't think they should have been arrested by any stretch of the imagination. However, they were arrested for showing their support for Palestine Action. I don't know how many of you saw the footage that was on Channel 4 News yesterday of what Palestine Action activists did over and beyond going to a military base and throwing paint into the engines of jets. One of them attacked, I'm sorry, trigger warning here. One of them attacked a female police officer with a fucking sledgehammer. There's video footage of it. It's horrific. Don't seek it out. And so all these people over the summer going out to London with their I support Palestine action signs, rather than I support Palestine. What Israel is doing is fucking disgraceful. Netanyahu is a war criminal. You could have a sign saying Netanyahu is a war criminal because he fucking is. You could have those signs, but instead, hundreds of tended to be white, middle-aged, middle-class, elderly maybe people went to London and held signs knowing that it would get them arrested. Did doing that help the Palestinian people at all? No. In fact, I would argue that it didn't help anyone but fucking Israel, okay? That helped Israel because it made people look at these people and go, oh, well, I'm not going to support them anymore because obviously they're bad people getting arrested, doing naughty things. I don't know why they're getting arrested for doing naughty things. But yeah, support the Palestinians. Honestly, go with God. Please support them. They need our support. But going out and supporting a group that has been deemed a terrorist group by the government for whatever the fuck reason it has been, you don't have all the facts. And this is one of the things that I thought at the time is like, we don't have all the facts. The government clearly knows something that the rest of us don't know. So we have to take that into account. Surely we need to... I would have thought. And the dog handler turned around and said, and you can get that dirty thought out of your head. Many employers will use this concession to create a revolving door whereby employers are only ever employed for 5.5 months. Yeah, Miss Paula Thomas, I thought that as well. And there needs to be something in this which says they can't do that. There needs to be something that stops employers doing that. Like they're only allowed to fire one employee a year. That's it. You get one. You get one that you can employ. You can fire at 5.5 months or 5.5 months, I should say. Still, Graham. Regardless, it wasn't left. It isn't right. I get your point there. Yeah, it wasn't right that people got arrested. I completely get that. But if you went out, and I don't want to have a fight with anyone watching this, right? Because, you know, I understand people's motivations. They wanted to help. And when you see people suffering, there's a very human reaction to go, why are these people suffering? I don't want to see them suffering. This is upsetting. We need to do something about this, right? But to go to London and get yourself arrested on purpose by holding a sign that doesn't say, I support Palestine, for holding up a sign that says, I support Palestine action. That was my problem. Like, take the word action off there and you can go there every fucking week, every day if you want to. You can protest, you can raise awareness, you can do the things that need to be done. Just take the word action off. No, I'm not doing that. And it came across as stubbornness. It came across as stubbornness and a little bit egocentric to me. Of like, look at me, aren't I amazing? I'm getting myself arrested. And although I agree people shouldn't have been fucking arrested for this, and the government should have been a bit more transparent, but there is a court case going on, and this is why the government couldn't talk about it, because it would prejudice the court case. But what has already come out from the court case is that one of the Palestine Action activists attacked a female police officer with a motherfucking sledgehammer. So you're supporting people who did that. There's no two ways about it. You didn't know up till yesterday when that footage was released that that this had happened. But fuck me. First of all, the people in Palestine Action knew this happened. They didn't fucking say to anyone, "Hey, listen, don't support. Don't bother getting yourself arrested because it's not going to look good when this comes out." But it's come out now, and everyone who was a little bit kind of like, "Oh well." I do care about the Palestinian people, but the way people behave over it is kind of pissing me off. What do you think they're going to think now? They're going to think, oh, fuck them all. And the Palestinian people are going to be lumped into it. I mean, if this was a PSYOPs operation by fucking Israel, they couldn't have done a better fucking job, to be honest with you. Make people get themselves arrested for supporting a group that have done something. We don't know what they've done. And it turns out what they've done is they've attacked a female police officer with a motherfucking sledgehammer. And now you've gone down in history as being arrested for supporting that group that did that. Do you see the problem? Do you see that? Fuck. Why are people so fucking... Oh, I can't. Right. Anyway, calm down, Graham. Hong Kong. Oh my God, this fire in Hong Kong is infuriating. It's heartbreaking and it is infuriating. The death toll's going to be in the hundreds. It's already over 100. It's already 128, right? It's going to go up. I hate high risers. I hate them. I wish they didn't exist. I know I have to live in a world where they do exist. I hate drugs. I wish drugs didn't exist. But they do. I mean, illegal drugs, not just all drugs, because all drugs are medicines, whatever, but not all medicines are drugs. Something like that, whatever. Listen, I don't care, right? I wish illegal drugs didn't exist. I wish I lived in a world in which cocaine didn't exist. Because I'll tell you what, if cocaine didn't exist, we wouldn't have had the 1980s the way we did. We wouldn't have the fucking Big Bang, the City of London bullshit. We wouldn't have all these fucking knobheads running around, running the Tory party or running the CEOs of companies doing mad shit all the time. You wouldn't have any of that. And we would have a lot more decent third albums. Because you have the first album, which, they're all getting together and the band's doing all right. And, it's the first album. And usually it's pretty good, right? Suede's first album, Blur's first album, Leisure, was great. Stone Roses' first album, fucking brilliant. And then you have the follow-up, which generally speaking can eclipse the first one if you've got What's the Story, Morning Glory, or you've got Dogman Star, or you've got Modern Life is Rubbish. Absolutely fantastic. And then the cocaine comes along and the third album is shit. We have so many shit third albums and it's all the fault of cocaine. I wish it didn't exist, right? Lots of things in life I wish didn't exist, but they do. And so we have to manage them. I wish boxing didn't exist. I fucking hate boxing, okay? And there's going to be some people in the chat go, I fucking love boxing, Graham. I don't think it should be made illegal. I think that heavyweight boxing, people should wear head coverings, and there should not be a thing about knocking someone out and then you win. You shouldn't have to cause enough brain damage. You shouldn't damage the brain of your opponent enough to win the match, okay? It should be like Olympic boxing, where you get a point for the headshot, you get a point for hitting their body, and then you tally up your points, and whoever got the most points wins. Whoever got the most hits in wins, right? That's how it should be. But I understand that if you banned boxing, it would go underground and become even fucking worse, right? And you'd have no medical people on standby. Lots more people would die. Lots more people would suffer. You can't get rid of it. I don't like horse racing. I don't like dog racing. There's lots of things in life that I do not like, but I have to live with. The royal family. I would rather not have a fucking royal family. I just think it's ridiculous having all these hangers on and fucking lunatics, and it's just lunatic. It's madness to me. Right. However, right, we live in a world where high risers exist. I never, ever, ever want to live in one. I hate them. I don't like looking at them. I think they all look disgusting everywhere in the world. There's a few cool, tall buildings that were built in the 1920s when it was all Art Deco and shit. But that's about it, right? I hate them. And you're not going to convince me on this. I've hated them for a long time. I just fucking hate them. I see them as death traps. And the people who build them, who never live in them, by the way, it's always, they live in a nice little cottage, 500-year-old cottage in the Cotswolds. The people who live in them are told that when they have a fire, they're to shelter in place. They're told this. And this happens again and again, where the outside, the exterior of the building has something on it which is mad flammable. And it means that all of the fire protection measures you've put in don't fucking matter, because if you've got a system so that the fire is supposed to be contained on one floor of this big tower, if you have a means of that fire getting out the outside and going up the fucking tower, like in Grenfell, like in Hong Kong, there's been other fires like this. You need to get all the people out immediately. Don't tell people to shelter in place. And yet, what did the fire chief say in Hong Kong a couple of days ago when this fire started? Shelter in place. Told people to shelter in place. So to stay in their fucking house, in their flat till they died. Fucking idiots. How can they not have seen what happened in Grenfell, where the outside cladding with that aluminium in it? Did you burn aluminium strips in school? Do you remember doing that with the aluminium? And it just went up like a fucking, like crazy. Like, wow, that's amazing. Was it aluminium oxide or something fucking mad? I don't know. It fucking went up with a white flame. So hot. You just got a little tiny strip of it. Was that aluminium? Was it magnesium? I don't fucking know. Whatever. It fucking burns anyway. So that's what happened in Grenfell. And here in Hong Kong, you've got bamboo, which has been banned in the rest of China, by the way. Bamboo scaffolding for this exact fucking reason, which is very flammable because it's wood. And then they had nylon on the outside of the fucking which is incredibly flammable, which is oil, by the way. Nylon is made from oil. It is an oil derivative. The same stuff we make fuel out of. They make the same stuff we make jet fuel out of. Anyway, so, yeah. And then it went from one building to the next because the way that the buildings were designed, I mean, it's not exactly like this, but imagine a square with circles on the ends of the squares and in the end of the corners, right? And each corner's got a circle, right? It kind of looks like that, right? And what it did was it created these chimneys, effectively doing what a chimney does, putting heat up. These little vortices were created by the shape of the building as well. We talk about the Swiss cheese model of disasters where all the things have to line up exactly for the disaster to happen. And this is a fucking perfect Swiss cheese example of just shit architecture, shit fucking fire defense, shit fucking scaffolding with fucking flammable stuff all over it. It was a high risk for fires day in Hong Kong because they had strong winds and it had been really fucking dry. Just all of this came together and now hundreds of people are dead. And this all could have been fucking prevented if the scaffold hadn't been fucking flammable, if the building hadn't been built in such a twatty way, and if the fucking head of the fucking fire service, who should go to jail forever, I'm sorry, obviously we don't know the ins and outs at this point, but just from my knee-jerk reaction of looking at this situation, he should go to jail forever. Because he said, shelter in place. He saw the building on fire with the fire outside the fucking building and went, yep, shelter in place. And that was before all the other buildings fucking caught on fire. They should have got everyone out the buildings that weren't on fucking fire at the very least. But no, shelter in place. Everyone stay where you are. And I understand there were elderly people, there were people who were disabled, who couldn't get out, who needed help. Yeah, that's what the firefighters are for. Fucking send them in. They're there trying to put out this fire. It's gone. The building's gone, mate. What's the fucking point? Just get the people out as quickly as possible. Oh, we're gotta fucking stop the fire. No, you're not. No, you're not, mate. Jeez. And the fact that all the buildings had the fucking scaffolding on, they didn't do one at a time. There's another thing. Like, why do they have to do it all? Because of cost. It's cheaper to have bamboo. It's cheaper to do them all at once rather than one at a time. You know, it's all about cost cutting. And this is what I hate about modern architecture. It's not about making stuff look good. It's giving something. It's a machine for living in. And it's done at the fucking cheapest price all over the world. All these buildings look the fucking same. They are an assault on our cultures around the world because of what a white European man in the 1940s thought looked good. A white fascist, by the way, a fucking fascist decided, this is what looks good. It's a big tower, and we put all the people in the tower. I go back to the Towering Inferno. What a fucking film, right? Steve McQueen plays it's Paul Newman and Steve McQueen. Paul Newman plays the architect. Steve McQueen plays the chief of the fire brigade. And Steve McQueen says at the end of the movie, we can't get above the 17th floor or whatever floor it is. We can't physically get up above that. And if you architects keep building these towers higher and higher, one day it won't be a dozen people dying as a result of a fire in one of these buildings. It'll be thousands. When did Towering Inferno come out? Was it 1973 or something? You're in a big fucking building, it's on fire, and you can't get out the motherfucker. And if you noticed how, generally speaking, I know World Trade Center accepted on this because that was a commercial building, but whenever you hear these stories about blocks going up, it's not a block full of millionaires, is it? We're not hearing in the news that billionaire, Hong Kong billionaire dies in flat fire. Never is it? It's the working class. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. And then these absolute fucking clanging dickheads who say, oh, health and safety. Yeah. Did you know I used to work for the health and safety executive? I don't know if I've ever told you this before. I worked for the health and safety executive for almost a year. And I was working on IT. I was working on the help desk. And just some of the stuff that came through to the HSE. Fucking hell. workplace accidents, farming accidents. Jesus Christ. Yes, health and safety all the fucking way. But, you know, people who's working class, they deserve to die possibly doing their job. Health and safety. Yeah. I've been to places where health and safety are a undiscovered country. I've been to Bolivia, where I've been down the Potosi silver mine, where people still fucking work, you know, with threats of cave-ins every fucking day or toxic gas or this mine, okay, in the mountain, Potosi, the name of the place is, right? Look it up, right? Or Potosi, I don't know, Potosi. 1 million people have died in this mine. 1 million people have died in this one fucking mine. Oh, health and safety, huh? The road out of La Paz, the capital of Bolivia, was called the Camino de la Muerte or something like that. It was the road of death. And it was a road that was just straight out of fucking, I don't know, Sorcerer. You know, the wages of fear. Yeah. And they did it as a Top Gear challenge. They went down this road of death. But they went down in cars, right? Or went up it in cars. I went down it on a bus. On a fucking bus. And it was the scariest thing I've ever fucking done. The idea is in the morning, it's one way down, and in the afternoon, it's one way up. But there's always one fucking knobhead in their fucking Yugo who's trying to get up the fucking mountain, isn't there, in the morning, and the bus has got to go round them. And unlike in, you know, the rest of the country, you know, if you're going to overtake someone, you overtake them on the left for some reason. You overtake them on the right. Yeah, you overtake them on the right, so you're closer to the mountain. Oh, God, it was just... Anyway, yeah. Health and safety. Who cares about health and safety? Well, I do, because I don't want people to die just because, again, as with most things in life, they popped out their mum at an inconvenient coordinate of longitude and latitude. Because that matters, you know? You see, because you were born on, you know, near this mountain, and I was born near that mountain. You were born by this river, and I was born by this river. You know, you were born on that plateau, and I was born on that plateau. And, you know, let's blow the whole world up. We're so different, you and I. You know, why? Because you're from a different coordinate of longitude and latitude. Well, so is most people, I think, unless they're born in the same hospital. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You know, different longitude and latitudes, right? You know, put them all together, you know, and the world would go insane, really, wouldn't it? Because you'd have all people from all over the world, and they'd all live together in some kind of like harmony. Ugh, don't want that. Let's draw up borders and make it very, very, very important to people where they're from, and the fact that you can't take away that freedom of where they're from. Take away their freedom to roam around their own continent to their own heart's content, though, can't you? Anyway, they're the news stories I wanted to talk about today, so I'm done. I'm just going to read things here. High rises are part of the reason I hate cities. They're disgusting. They're horrible. It's horrible to look at them. And people who are, I don't know, people who have different brain chemistry to me look at these things and they go, God, it's wonderful. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so brutal. Oh yeah, it's got these clean straight lines. Oh, what they did was they made a little form out of wood, and then they poured this slop, this grey slop, into the form, and then they took the form away. It was amazing. I mean, it's just like making jelly, but it was a building. The skill, the artistry. They got this thing. They put some metal bars in it, right? And they had like they built this thing out of wood, and then they poured the slop, the grey slop, into the trough, and it was set. And then they took the wood off, and then they put another bit on top of that, and then they put the take. Oh, it was wonderful. It was just amazing. I don't know how it was like watching an artist at work. It really was. I mean, I feel humbled being alive at the same time that there are people who have the ability to make a form, like just knock 4 pieces of wood together and then fill that with solidifying slop, this grey slop. We can make entire buildings out of this. We can make entire cities. We can make bridges that fall apart and tunnels that collapse. Yay! But some people fucking love it. I've had so many arguments in my time, and like people just go, I fucking love it. Oh, give me that concrete slop. I love the way it smells of piss and looks disgusting and is the fucking wet dream of a European fascist from the 1940s. A Swiss fascist called Le Corbusier. A fascist who then got his white Aryan master race bullshit and exported his fucking wet dream to every fucking corner of the fucking planet. How depressing is it to travel to every country and the only prestige buildings, the only buildings worth a damn are the ones that were built 50, 60, 70, no, more than 50 now, isn't it? 100 years ago, right? They're the only ones worth a damn. The Taj Mahal. You go to the Taj Mahal. And this is a fucking challenge for anyone. Go to the Taj Mahal. Go and spend the day in the Taj Mahal. And then come back to me and tell me that a fucking office block is beautiful. You can't. You just fucking can't. The amount of intricate artwork on that building is mind-blowing. The symmetry of it. You know, because you normally see that picture of from a distance, you know, it's got that dome on the top and it's all over. The Taj Mahal is Arabic script all over it. And it's not just like, I don't know, carved in, right? Or maybe embossed. No, like what the Egyptians used to. No, this is inlaid, right? So what they've done is they've carved out the stone, their little V, and then they've carved out a bit of black marble, and they've pushed the piece of black marble, which is perfect, just perfect, into the white marble of the block to create a letter, right? And then they've done that hundreds of times. And it is just like, my God. Last summer, I went to Gaudi's cathedral, the Sagrada Familia in, it's not a cathedral, big church, sorry. The big church, the Basilica, big church, in Barcelona. Barcelona Cathedral is a different cathedral, to be technical. And the stuff that Gaudi did was fucking amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. And, you know, a lot of it's made of concrete. But then again, the Liver buildings in Liverpool and the Liverpool Anglican Cathedral, one looks like it's made of limestone, the other one looks like it's made of red sandstone. It's not. It's just, they're both made of concrete, by the way. They're both made of concrete, but they are clad in stone. And that's why they look fucking fabulous. But what this very utilitarian, prosaic, pedestrian, fascist architecture does is it steals the beauty and the integrity and the culture from civilizations all over the world, because everything looks the same. You could pick up a building in Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea, and you could drop it in Adelaide in Australia. You could drop it in Durban in South Africa. You could drop it in Miami in America. You could drop it in, I don't know, fucking Kaliningrad in Russia. You could do it. And no one will bat an eyelid because it all looks the same. It's just a box. It's a box with windows on either side, on the sides, and it's just a box. And these concrete boxes are everywhere, all over the world. And they are the wet dream of a fascist from Europe. It's a white man's conquest of architecture. And so native architecture around the world has been destroyed by this fascist architecture. And that's why I will never defend it. And I go, oh, well, you know, it was of its time. No, its time was fucking fascism. Its time was the brutal denial of people, the brutalist denial of people's cultures, taking their culture away and saying, no, your traditional ways of building, we're not doing that anymore. Everything's going to be made out of concrete slop forever. And it's all going to look like this. Bing! And whether you're in West Africa, or whether you're in West Papua, or whether you're in the West Indies, doesn't matter. Same concrete slop everywhere around the world. The same the mind fuck of one man, one fascist little fuck from the continent of Europe, a white supremacist who wanted the European style to be everywhere. And fuck me, was it everywhere? Is it everywhere? It totally is. And people have to live in these fucking things, and people die in these things. I hate them. Sorry, I've just got off my high horse now. You got me going on about architecture. Architecture and Morality. Great album by OMD. Robot boxers and bullfights. I used to like boxing, but then the even lighter weight boxing about knockabouts. Yeah, then they get with bullfights. I think bullfights should be made illegal. I think there's a point where you say no, fox hunting should be made illegal. You can't drive fox hunting underground. You can't. They won't get away with it. You can't have underground bullfights. It's too obvious. Literally, you can have underground dog fights because dogs are, dog fighting is illegal, and you can literally have it where it's just in a room somewhere. You can't do that with a bullfight. You need a fucking arena. You're just not going to get away with it. I mean, you can try, but so there are certain things that I don't accept that exist. I have to accept drugs. They do exist. Legalize them. Make it so that people aren't committing crimes to get hold of them, or committing crimes by distributing them. Fine, But certain things can fuck all the way off. Bullfighting and fox hunting, top of the list of things that can fuck off. But yeah. Creedence Clearwater Revival's first 5 albums were classics. Then they started to fall apart. So Pendulum was a disappointment. With their equivalent of Revolution 9. Then Mardi Gras stank. Colin, I saw was it John Thingy from Clearwater, Creedence. I saw him at Glastonbury. That was great. I never realised they wrote Proud Mary until he played it. And I was like, fucking hell, was that a Creedence song? Because I only knew the version by Ike and Tina Turner. I didn't know they. That's kind of embarrassing. It's like not knowing that Message to You, Rudy wasn't written by the Specials. It wasn't. It was a Jamaican band that sung it originally. The company has to pay the agency more than the normal worker, but the worker doesn't get an increased money. The reason they use agencies so they can bin people off without notice. That's very true. Bowles, just seen the proposed venue list for the 2035 FIFA Women's World Cup. Anfield and Old Trafford miss out, while the Hill, Dickinson and Etihad are on the list. Good. I'll go to Everton's new stadium. I'm still trying to get a ticket. I mean, fuck me. I haven't looked at the tickets for the Everton stadium, and the only ones they had left like 250 quid each. I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to pay for this? And if you join this thing called Forever Blue, it's cost 60 quid a year, right, to join, right? And then you get first refusal on these tickets, right? So I think you get a bit of a discount and stuff. And when the tickets are released, you get first. But it's only one ticket. So do you go the footy on your own? That is mad to me. Like, why can't you just have one membership and you get 2 tickets? There you go. That's the deal. You get 2 tickets if you can get through. Like Glastonbury. If you get through, you can get 6 tickets, right? Just thought it was a bit mad. Lost missionary. I Graham, new build scars across countrysides. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with ugly buildings, right? If they're not tall, you don't see them. If you're on the next road, you won't see that ugly building if it's not tall. If it's tall, like that fucking beaten fucking tower piece of shit in Manchester, you had to see that from anywhere you were in Manchester. This fucking horrible building that looks like it's going to fall forward because it's got this chunk taken out the bottom. I hate it. It puts me on edge. It looks like it's going to fall forward, and then it's got a fence at the top, which should maybe have a Coca-Cola sign on it in Blade Runner or something. I don't fucking know. Or a sign for Atari in Blade Runner. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it used to whistle. It used to make this noise, like for everyone around it. They had to redesign it so it didn't fucking make that fucking noise. And it was all made so the lousy bastard architect who designed the fucking thing could sit in the penthouse at the very top and look out over everyone and go, ha 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 ha, plebs. Gobshite. Fucking hate that building. The only good thing about the new builds in Manchester now is because there's lots more tower blocks going up. It kind of like dilutes the horrificness of the beaten tower, which is just a piece of shit. I mean, I probably took him about, 2 hours to design that motherfucking thing. He just literally drew a fucking, brutalist P. Oh God, it sets me on edge. It's one of the many reasons I don't like going back to Manchester. Tall buildings effectively act as chimneys. However, you look at the tall buildings, the snobs lived in are protected by fire alarms and sprinklers and plenty of escape routes. Yes, they are. Colin says CCR kept it up as John Fogerty kept writing. That's John Fogerty. That's who I was trying to remember the name of. Kept writing good songs. Well, they did good covers at the 11-minute version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine. While John had an iron grip. John Fogarty, that's the guy. Bloomberg exclusive. Negotiations for the UK to join EU's flagship defence fund, SAFE, have failed. For people familiar, the matter has said a major blow to European security. For fuck's sake. Enlarged hobbit holes. I'll have to live in. The thing is, I just want to say about a hobbit hole needing comfort, right? Wood lice. Those hobbit holes would have so much fucking wood lice in them. If wood lice exist in Middle Earth, which I assume they do, if you built a hobbit hole in reality, and if you go to Hobbiton in New Zealand, which I've been to, of course, you open the door, you open Bilbo's door at number 1 Underhill, Overhill, the Shire. And it's just, there's nothing in there. It's just a cupboard. Like they haven't built into the hill, that was a set, somewhere in a soundstage in Wellington, in Wellywood, and if you ever did build a hobbit hole, wood lice, because it'd be wet, especially under a big tree, as well as Bilbo's hole is. Bilbo's like, hey everyone, check out my new hole. The hobbit hole of Bilbo's would be absolutely crawling with insects. It just would, because it was in a temperate zone. I've been to Cooper in Australia, where people live underground. I got to meet Crocodile Harry when I was there, who was the inspiration for Crocodile Dundee, and he was a really old guy. He's not with us anymore, unfortunately. And he lived under the ground. He had a cave, but it's really dry in Cooper Pedy, right? So you're living in basically a cave system that you've carved out of the stone. So you don't have problems, the same sort of problems with insects that you do if you were living literally under soil. That's where Bilbo's living. Presumably, these houses that they built are soil, and then they compact the soil around I don't know. They didn't have concrete, so can't use that. Maybe a bit of cement, and then they put wood paneling around the inside. I don't know. We need to have a serious conversation on the architecture of Hobbiton and what they use to keep the wood lice out. Architects these days have zero imagination, says Chris C. But they're told to, Chris. They study at university, and they are told straight up that any kind of decoration, any kind of decorative motifs on the buildings that they build are a bad thing, and everything has to be plain and boring and uninspiring as humanly possible. And it's because it's fascist. The whole of modern architecture is a fascist mindset. And you can tell this because if you have a look at the Nazi submarine base, go on, type in Nazi submarine base into Google and have a look at what comes up. In fact, I think I might just do this. Nazi submarine base. Here you go. It's in Saint-Nazaire, and I will show you it here. Oh, God. Oh, it's doing a thing to make me accept things. I don't want to accept things. So here you go. Brace yourselves. Here's the submarine base of Saint-Nazaire. This is a Nazi submarine base in France, right? Iconic part of the town, it says. Look at it. Look at this shit with the fucking rebar smashing out the side of it. Find out more, blah, blah, blah. But this is it. This is the, let's see if we can sort of, I can't copy that. That's no good, is it? Discover the U-boat base. Oh, actually, I go to images. That'll be a good idea. There you go. So this is a Nazi submarine base. And I will put it to you that people who go on and on about, brutalist architecture and how wonderful and beautiful it is, they will fucking cream themselves over that. They'll be like, oh my God, look at the form. Look at the straight line. Look at the crumbling concrete where the water's got through to the rebar and expanded the rebar and then it's all crumbled around it. They would absolutely fucking love that. That looks like the Barbican to me. That looks like the National Theatre. That looks like every single brutalist piece of shit architecture ever built by humans. And it's a Nazi submarine base built by literal fascists in the middle of a war as quickly and cheaply as possible. There you go. There's your brutalism for you. Cool. Great. There was a movie that came out called The Brutalist, and it's about the guy who invented brutalism or something. I think they tried to make out that he was Jewish, and I don't think he was. I think in real life he was one of them. But I'm sure someone's watching this going, "Oh, Graham, that's a beautiful bit of architecture that." That they had to throw up to put fucking Nazi submarines in. I do quite like some of the modern architecture in Norwich. They did some truly awful things in the post-war period, but the new library shopping mall underneath and castle were quite done, in my opinion. Apparently, woodlice are edible. They are crustaceans like shrimp and prawns. I believe Hugh Fernley Whittle once used them in a recipe. I wouldn't fancy it myself, though. I don't know if I've eaten woodlice. I've eaten cockroach. I've eaten beetles. It wasn't long after George Harrison died, actually. I was in where was I? I was in Cambodia. I was in the back of a shared taxi, bouncing along the road on the way to Siem Reap. And the lady next to me, she had this big fuck off bag, like a big sack, a sack full of beetles. And she was just breaking them open and eating them, breaking them open, eating the squishy insides. And she gave one to me and I went, "Oh, okay, that broke it out. Tasted like soil. Tasted like fucking soil." And then I had this really awful feeling of like, what if, right, George Harrison was right in his beliefs, and ironically, he was reincarnated as a beetle? And what if I had just eaten George Harrison? And that freaked me out. So I decided from that moment on, I would never eat beetles again. Also, it did taste like fucking soil. So, there's that. That's an architecture machine. It'll be on Grand Designs at some point. Yes, Nick Chat. Yes, Grand Designs. I love that show because it's one of those shows that I fucking love to hate. It's like The Apprentice. You just watch it going, "You fucking cock monkeys. What is wrong with you?" So you get these people who go, "What we want to do, because we're dead rich and we're about to be pregnant probably. What we want to do is build a shipping container on the top of a hill, right? A shipping container, and one side of it's going to be a glass curtain. Okay." Flat roof, glass curtain, brilliant. We'll have some blue lights outside it that light it up from the ground. The ground lights, that's what we want. Shipping container, elongated shipping container. One wall, completely glass. I want everyone to see me walking around naked, yeah. And I want it so that everyone who is in a 30-mile radius of this area, I want them to see our shit fucking shipping container on top of this hill. And I want to have the view that I've ruined. I want to have the view out, you see. That's what I want. Fucking the twats on that shit. "Hey, we've got a budget of £7,498 million. And I'm like, fucking hell, what do you do? Brutalism missed a day in school. They taught aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, because it's fascist. They don't care about how we feel. They don't care about our mental state. And this is what you got to understand when people defend this fucking shit, right? So many people going into these cities like Leeds, Liverpool, Birmingham, every day, Manchester in particular, and seeing these brutalist fucking grey slop buildings made out of solidified grey slop. And it's depressing. There is a word for being overwhelmed by beauty, and people experience it when they go to somewhere like Florence, which is just fucking gorgeous, and all the buildings are gorgeous. And it's like the opposite of that. It's the daily grind on a day when the weather is grey, it's cold, it's winter, we're not getting much sun through the clouds, and you go and these disgusting, awful buildings. What do they do to your mental state? I'll tell you what they do to my fucking mental state, mate. They fucking ruin it. They make me feel fucking depressed. They crush my soul. That's what I think of when I see these buildings. I find them crushing my soul. I'm like, why the fuck did you build that? What the fuck is that? And it upsets me. It really genuinely upsets me on a visceral level. But they don't see that. They don't fucking care. They collect the paycheck and go, oh, I've done something amazing. I made a Nazi submarine base in the middle of Norwich. Oh, called it a shopping centre. Oh, fill it with Poundlands. Anyway, so yeah, I have blathered on for far too long, considering that we've got another 2 shows to do today. But my coffee's still hot. Thank you. Bodum cup that I got in the checkout line for TK Maxx for a £5. You've held up well. I've had this for 5 years now. It's great. Keeps me coffee hot or me tea. Looked up wood lice. They're called pill bugs, sow bugs, and roly-polies here in the US. Aren't they called silverfish as well? Aren't they? Are they a different type of wood lice? But yeah, you'll have lots of them. Leeds has a Venetian design warehouse and an Egyptian temple design. Jute mill, both very beautiful. That's cool. And wood lice aren't in the taxonomic group of insects either. They are terrestrial isopods. Well, there you go. Anyway, says Chris, I've got to get a move on. So have I, mate, because I've gone on too long. Bumper show this morning. Lots to talk about, as always. I'll be back at 1 o'clock with Phil. We're going to be talking about the budget. So if you want to talk about the budget, me and Phil discussing the budget, come join us. And if you want to follow Phil, if you're not already following him, head over to... Let me get rid of these hiccups. Hang on. Let me get... done. Head over to @ADifferentBias here on YouTube and subscribe to his channel. Well, and if you're feeling in the mood for subscribing and liking stuff, give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. And if you feel like subscribing, that'd be awesome. Hit the bell notification icon, and that will be awesome. So, and then 9 o'clock tonight, 9:30 tonight, we're going to have the Friday night social. I think it might be a bit of a special one. So please join us for that. And, we'll wind up the week together, and we'll have a bit of bant. We'll have a bit of chat about what's going on in our lives and what's going on in the wider world. We'll bring it all together. It's a bit like going to the pub. You'll love it. 9:30 tonight. Please join us then. And until next time, thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the chat in general. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks for not shouting at me too much about architecture. Hello. Andrew, Ray, great in politics. Before you go, you missed a very important Telegraph mini story about putrid Shepshal Operation Jen Cider needs reading. I was about to go. I was about to leave. Don't make me go back there. Don't make me go. Oh, okay, hang on. Coming back. You did give me a £5, so I feel kind of obliged. What am I getting adverts for now? Jesus Christ. The Daily Telegraph. God, I hate clicking on this bloody thing. Right. Sorry, taxman. Okay. Putrid Spez Hall. Putrid Spez Hall Operation Jen Cider needs reading. Honestly, Andrew, that just sounds like a cryptic crossword puzzle. Putrid shapes out. So I would say that Spez Hall, it's probably an anagram of Spez Hall because you've put putrid behind it. So it says like rotten or broken or something like that. It usually means that the next word or the previous word is going to be an anagram. Operation Gen. So Operation Jen Cider. Genocide. Could it be a genocide? Oh, mate. I'm usually pretty good at cryptic crosswords, but I think when I'm on the hook like this, and I don't know how many letters there are, and I've got no clues. Is it Putin's special operation? I don't know. Let's have a look. We've got the Telegraph, Benefit Street, Carragher, about Slot, Arnie Slot, young people, manifesto. Come on, someone help me out. Electric cars, staff paid 100. Putin will fight till the last Ukrainian dies. Is that it? Russia is ready to fight until the last Ukrainian dies. Is that the one? Is that the one? Putrid Putin. Okay. You can see my difficulty here. Maybe it's this one. Okay, thanks, Andrew. We'll fight till the last Ukrainian dies. Russia is ready to fight until the last Ukrainian dies. Vladimir Putin said yesterday the Russian president insisted that Ukraine must surrender territory, claiming his army is practically impossible to hold back. Some people demand to keep on fighting until the last Ukrainian dies. Russia is ready for that. He said during a trip to Kyrgyzstan, his words suggested Kremlin is unwilling to depart from its demands for Kyiv to relinquish the entire Donbass region. Oh, yeah, we got there in the end. Graham earning that fiver. Cheers, Nick. Cheers, Nick. Awesome. Anyway, so 1 o'clock. I'll be back in just another 2 hours. Just got time to maybe have some breakfast. Maybe I'll have some breakfast. That'll show you. And then 9:30 tonight. Otherwise, if I don't see you, have a fantastic weekend. And, hold your loved ones close and your enemies closer. And until I see you again, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.